Guys, I still have that cut off, but we're still gonna do another video. So what is the name? Well, it's a qualifying match with Chad Gable, Dragon Lee. Oh my gosh, did y'all watch this match? But okay, in Penta. But let's talk about how Chad Gable was broke his freaking neck first. It was broke his neck. It was like I forget what the move was, but he didn't have his head tucked in. He had his head all out. But I forget if he tucked his neck or did. But it seems like he landed face first, I believe. If he did tuck his neck. But Dragon Lee, I know he did cool. He did cool spots, and he might be one of the futures of Lucha Libre. Okay, I know people don't like him, but then Dragon Lee gets hit with the Penta driver. But what is his name? Del Vikingo gets what's his Elivo Del Vikingo? What Viking? I don't know what his name is, but I forget. He kicks Chad Gable right in the head, and he's like gushing. But Chad Gable did have like a little spot on his neck, a little bruiser probably. I don't know, but he got hit with the Penta driver and got pinned. Then we got ourselves and Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker promo. Basically, just Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins talking. So we get Paul Heyman talking first, and he's basically talking about Bronson Reed, how he's a monster, and how what Bronson Reed's doing is good and great about what is coming to happen. So Paul Heyman basically says that. Let me take a drink. That Bronson Reed beat Seth Rollins, and that CM Punk and Roman Reigns gonna beat Seth Rollins on their own. But first, Paul Heyman said CM Punk is not here tonight, which we'll find out later on tonight. And I feel like now since Bronson Reed came in, I feel like Braun Breaker is just like the fourth important in this group for some reason. That's what I feel like. He might not be the fourth important when the matches come, but in the promos, maybe because they were just focused on Bronson Reed because he's the first one. Well, he's the new one. I don't know. But then Seth Rollins get the mic, and then he's like dragging stuff out. But I thought this was better than everyone else thought it was gonna be. But yeah, but Paul Heyman says acknowledge Seth Rollins putting his hands out like this, and then Seth Rollins is basically just talking, and he does. But did y'all see Seth Rollins' eyes? He was like, he was looking at Bronson Reed. He might just be using him for power in his faction. Maybe it's gonna be like a turn-on thing, like Evolution, but it's gonna be different. Like Seth Rollins kicks Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker spears Bronson Reed, and then after that, Braun Breaker spears. Maybe Paul Heyman Lobo, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker spears him, and then they got a match for to WrestleMania. Or I don't know. And that's basically it for the segment. Not gonna spend too much time. Rusev in his 50-second match with what is his name again? From Alpha Academy, Tozawa. And then he's basically choking him out. And it seemed like this actually hurt Tozawa. And Sheamus comes out, and this is the one of the things I predicted. Him and Damian Priest. And I think this could be a good feud if they do it right. And I think Lana should come back. But did y'all see? I don't think enough people's talking about this on social media. Why is Sheamus as pale as his freaking shirt? Can we talk about it? Let me hear what y'all think in the comments. And then we have the one I was really paying attention to. But before we get into that, I didn't really watch Raw because I was at a cookout. And I think I can tell I didn't really watch Raw, but I did catch up on some stuff, and I especially catched up on that qualifying match with Penta and Draco Lee, because I heard it was a good match. But we got Roxanne and Dominic. So basically, it's like Finn, JD sitting on the couch, and Roxanne on this little stool, and Carlito and Dirty Dom with his Intercontinental title, playing their PS5 and what is it, War Games match with on the TV on the clubhouse. Roxanne comes in with the chicken nuggets and everything. Not too touchy. Actually, it did get a little touchy. She massages his shoulders. She was a little tight. And then we get the return of Liv freaking Morgan, guys. And she's like, what's happening, Dom? What happened when I was gone? And she's like, never. No, wait. Dom talks about what was the timeline thing? And the Liv Morgan. After that, she's never mind. Even though nothing really happened except the massaging shoulder. But I know, if y'all want to watch my K-Wrestling thoughts, you can hear what I'm about to say. No, actually, I'm not going to say. Y'all have to watch K-Wrestling thoughts to hear my thought, okay? K-Wrestling thoughts. It's K-Wrestling thoughts. And then Liv Morgan's like, Raquel been keeping me up to date. And it's a little interesting what I've heard. And I think that's the end. And we get into the Jey Uso and Sami Zayn segment in promo. Well, it wasn't really a promo. But does anyone did anyone notice and like the Jey Uso t-shirt? It was like 4 letters, 1 word. I forget, did it have the yeet? I don't think it did, though. I don't think we'll be in that space. But I don't really remember. I know, was Sammy, this the part, was Sammy feeling down? I forget about that. He might have been feeling down and everything, and then he was stressed about stuff. That's what I think it was. Sammy was stressed. Jay came in, and then Jay basically says he believes in him. He will help him if we got Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. I'm getting sick of saying all their names at the same time because, give them a name or something. Why was they all, wearing glasses, too? But that's basically it for this segment. So basically we get into the Kofi. I hate these type of matches, okay? Sometimes it's 4 people, but it was only 3. Okay, the New Day and what is the American Made? And and War Raiders are in this match, and I went back and watched it because I already felt like I messed up enough, but I went back and watched it, and then I fast forwarded it because I didn't really care. We got the Wyatt 6 now on SmackDown, and y'all can't figure out your Raw roster. This is ridiculous. WWE needs to get better at what their tag teams are. Take off some people off the show and make some love for your tag team roster. Or maybe just make good storylines. Just figure out what the New Day, what can be best for the New Day. You already made their their heel turn good? Why can't you make their feuds enjoyable and good? And they're not just their feuds enjoyable and good, but them enjoyable and good. I'm already interested in the American made things. They just need to make that enjoyable and good. And I have a thought on that too. I have so many thoughts. That's coming up on my Thoughts channel, so go subscribe to my Thoughts channel. And in the War Raiders, Ivar did good. I feel like the War Raiders might get released. I just feel that. They're boring to me. Freaking Ivar is more athletic than Eric. And he's smaller. I don't know how it is, but this then the New Day wins, rolls up Julius Creed, and I think it was Julius, the skinny guy. Well, the taller one. And then he rolled him up, and the New Day's brought up with the titles again, even though they rolled him up, which is I think legal. But yeah, that's what happens tonight. And then we get into Gunther and Jey Uso. How are they gonna be building the same things over and over again? I feel like this is the only time they're building Jey Uso and Gunther. And I don't see no point of this match if Goldberg not coming. But Goldberg might not come because I found no point in WrestleMania, New Day versus War Raiders, and Big E wasn't coming. And guess what? Big E didn't come. So, who knows? It won't, but it still doesn't make sense if Gunther is just going to get a match with Jey Uso and take another pin or tap out again or get counted out. But that wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't. Maybe Jay just, I don't know. But oh yes, Jey Uso. I did watch this back, and because I didn't watch it, I went to the cookout. And Jay and Gunther, it's the same things we was getting for WrestleMania. It kind of felt like an underdog thing, which is not. Jay says the same thing as he was saying at WrestleMania. And he's like, and he says, what does he say? He's like, and then, oh yeah, he says, what you're fighting for is less about what I'm fighting for. You hear, Muse? What you're fighting for is less what I'm fighting for. You hear, Muse? It's getting too repetitive at this point. It's getting ridiculous at this point. And he basically, and he messes up his eyes, like, you hear, Muse? He kind of like takes 2 seconds of pause. And it's kind of ridiculous at this point. But Gunther actually says before this that I only care about myself. My long title reign with that belt was awesome and stuff. And I don't really want to waste too much time on this one. I don't really care about this Rhea thing. I'm about to write my notes about my thoughts because I forgot one of my thoughts and I had to take that thought out because I forgot it during Saturday's video, which was supposed to be always on Thursdays. But Rhea Ripley, I'm assuming what she said was, I'm gonna take back my title. And Rhea is going to win Money in the Bank. And she says Bobby's always on top, probably. I don't know. And I know it's probably short, and I don't have to go back and watch it. I don't feel like it. I know it's a review, but yeah. I forget if this is a qualifying match or not, but I think Liv should be in the Money to Bank match because I think Roxanne and Liv are gonna be at the top. This not gonna be on my thoughts. I'm just gonna tell you now. But I think they're gonna be looking at each other on the ladder at the same time, and then Dominic might just pull Liv down for some reason, or like distract her or something, and then or like help Roxanne in some way, and then Liv gets mad at it, or Roxanne or Dom does the James Elzer thing, take it off and just give it to Roxanne instead of Liv, because he didn't see, I don't know, because he didn't see her. Maybe it was two ladders at the same time. Dom saw one, and then he doesn't see Liv, and it's taken down. I don't know how that will go, but Roxanne, this is where it gets interesting. Roxanne, pushes Kyrie's head. At first, I thought she was still gonna land on Liv or step on Liv or something. There, Raquel, she's mad for some reason. Maybe like stay out of my business or stay out of her business. and then, and and then Liv try to go for Oblivion, gets rolled up, and that's basically it. And then Liv is mad. Raquel's trying to comfort her and everything. Then we get to Becky and Lyra. So Lyra's basically, I forget what Lyra said. I only went to Becky. Okay, Lyra's basically, I don't know what she said. Okay, she probably saying something to the fans, and Becky Lynch behind her back. Becky Lynch comes out and basically says, "Oh, I think Lyra did say your Becky was acting like she won the match at Backlash, but Becky said I went home to my beautiful husband, and you went home to the hospital with your little freaking looking husband." And I know everyone was talking about Lyra's husband, and I knew what they were talking about. I never seen a photo of him, and then I looked it up on Google, and he was hideous. Guys, he looked like he would be someone literally working at he wouldn't even work no more. He looked homeless in like the woods or something. Why does Lyra like him? What the heck? Lyra does say oh no, Becky says oh, what did she say? Oh, she says, "I will never challenge for that title again if I lose." And Lyra says, "Sure." And then Lyra, and then Becky says, oh yeah, and she says, Lyra says, last time I beat you, I did it with my eyes closed. And then Becky said, at the first time we faced, you rolled up me, and in how graceful Becky was, she says that, and she says, what did I do after the match? I raised your hand. And then Lyra says, she starts shaking her head, and then she said, once I win, you're gonna have to shake my hand. And then she says that, and I was like, okay, maybe she should have said you have to hold my hand up for 3 seconds. Did I say shake? I meant hold, okay? I meant hold, okay? And Lyra says this line. I still like Lyra as a wrestler, and her promos to get her on. And I still feel like there can be the 4 horse women now. Tiffany and Lyra, maybe some 2 other people that come up. Maybe that can be Stephanie Vaquer or someone else. But Lyra does say I never had a problem raising the hand of someone better than me, but you're just not it. And obviously Lyra is better than Becky in ring, but out of everything, she's not better than Becky yet. So that was just a lie. That was a lie. Maybe she's getting to her at the promos. Maybe because Becky kind of fell off her game. I feel like the man is not in Becky no more. I feel like that is not in her. I feel like we need one more strong style reign with the man. Like I feel like we need like 2-3 years with the man, and then we get to the next thing. That's all we're doing, talking about Lyra and Becky, and yeah. Okay, and another Judgment Day. We had a lot of Judgment Day segments, and like want to keep seeing these because I'm interested. And this one of the things I'm only interested in on SmackDown, Raw, and what does she have in her hand? And she basically like she lives mad, and I think Raquel said it was all Roxanne's fault, and then and then Roxanne does the little the mad face and stuff, and you see Raven ask Dom, "Who do you think fault is it?" And I felt like this would have been a good way for like Roxanne to give Dom like an eye, and she like smiles at Dom, and then Dom says, "I think it was Raquel's fault or something." You see, I'm really intrigued in this storyline, but a lot of WWE things, I'm always intrigued in something, but I feel like Roxanne, and this is all a setup. Roxanne doesn't like Dom. I feel like this is all a setup. I really thought this could end on good terms. Like they got drafted to a different brand, but this is off. Oh no, Liv does say, "You're the veteran, Raquel," which Liv, you're a veteran too. Then, and I don't know what I was going with that, but I feel like I had one for like you're a veteran too, but I forget what that was too. And yeah, and then did she like did she throw some at her? Roxanne. What if we get a new faction with Dom, Raquel, and Roxanne, and maybe Carlita, and then we're going to. And then we get Chad Gable with blood gushing to his head. What actually America made. I feel like we need Ivy with that title, that mid card title. We need more in the mid card division. We need Becky, we need Bailey, and Ivy, and someone else. Like, come on, we can't just have 4 in the division or 3 in the division. But then Chad is like, he's disgusted. He thinks they are failures and everything. And then we get after that we get Vikingo over here talking to Chad Gable, and then I forget who hit him. It was either Vikingo or AJ Styles, and AJ Styles is like, "What's wrong?" And then I don't know, that leads up to something. And then we get Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn once again. And then I heard a YouTuber saying, like, Skyler's on the ladder. That means something. Maybe that means Karrion Kross might win Money in the Bank. I bet y'all can guess what that was. But then Sammy and Karrion's like, you should have took that offer. And you could have faced John Cena. But John Cena probably would have cheated and won anyways. Then we have a fighting match with Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, which call him Pin Balor because he took the pin in this match. But before we get into this real, Seth Rollins does say that. No, hold on. Jey Uso comes out because Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I don't know if Bronson Reed came. Got into the match, and Jay said he had his back. I don't really remember too much from this match. I didn't really watch it, but I do know this, that Jey Uso came out to try to help, and then What? Oh yeah, Dominic comes out too, and then he throws in the chair, and then South Kerr stops him, and then he wins the match. He's in the money, the bank. And then I forget what came after this. But I forget if they beat them down or they were just showboating and everything, and or that. But guess what? It wouldn't matter because CM Punk, which was told he wasn't gonna be here earlier. I don't know if I said that, but then we get Bronson and Braun Breaker coming up, and this is just the fake stuff that people, which is they should already know the plan more than the fans because they work. But CM Punk comes from behind Seth Rollins, gets him on the shoulders, hits him with the GTS, and then CM Punk runs away. We need a promo battle with Seth Rollins and CM Punk. I still don't understand why Seth Rollins hates CM Punk that much, but this is the end of the video. Some stuff was out of order. I still will be getting better on my editing, but guess what? Salute, peace, and have a good rest of your day.